In this video, I'll be testing this scalping strategy created by one of the biggest channels in this niche. It's TradingLabs. Now, we tested his system last time and it actually ended up being negative. So today, I'll be testing his brand new system 100 times using EU on the 15-minute time frame to see if he can redeem himself. So first, load up TradingView, and for this strategy, we're only going to be using one indicator. So let's go to the indicators tab, and we're going to need the smoothed Heikin-Ashi V1 by Jack VMK. Now we're going to keep the settings at default because we're going to be incorporating price action into this system. Now for this strategy, we're going to be using this to identify the trend direction. When the smoothed Heikin-Ashi candles are printing green, we're in a buy structural market, and when they're printing red, we're in a sell structural market. Now let's go over the exact entry criteria. Okay, so this is your entry criteria when looking for long positions. Now I've predefined some of my own rules just because he wasn't extremely clear with the exact system. He was pretty vague, so I've made some exact rules that we can follow for this strategy. Now first, we're going to wait for the smoothed Heikin-Ashis to change from reds to green. Now it must be a substantial amount of candles for this to be valid, because if it was trading sideways, we would not be taking this trend change, as it's showing us insufficient volume in the market. But this has had a nice little slope down, so this to me was a valid trend change. And now we're going to wait for price action to pull back to the Heikin-Ashi candles, so we can enter on the pullback for the continuation of the push phase. Now for this to be a valid pullback, we need price to wick the bodies of the Heikin-Ashi candles. So as we can see here, we've had a wick and close of the Heikin-Ashi green candle. So now these confirmations have been met, we're going to take the instant execution on the first bullish candle after the candle that wicked the body. So as we can see here, we've had a nice engulfing candle. A stop loss will be below the most recent swing low. And for our take profit, we're going to only be closing once we see a red Heikin-Ashi candle. Okay, so as you can see here, price has just printed a red Heikin-Ashi candle, so we're going to close on the current candle price, which in this instance was this candle here. Okay, so we made 4.84%. Now the reason I've said it's different is because he actually takes profit at a 1.5 risk to reward. I've made this strategy extremely aggressive to maximize the rewards that we can make. Now do note, this is not going to be just a beginner strategy, because it's going to require extreme mental discipline to be able to go or profit and give it all back, right? Because in some instances, you're going to be giving all your money back and potentially taking a loss. So let's go and take a look at another long example. Okay, so as we can see here, price has had a valid trend change since the red Heikin-Ashi candles were going straight down and they weren't just going across. So now we've had the valid trend change. We've waited for price action to pull back to the Heikin-Ashi candles and reject and close. So we can go ahead and take the instant execution on the candle that it occurred on. As we can see here, price has rejected the Heikin-Ashi candles and then printed our green entry candle. So our stop loss will be below the most recent swing low. And for our trade management, we're going to be holding this trade until we see a red Heikin-Ashi candle. So as we can see here, the Heikin-Ashi has printed a red candle, so we will close on the current price candle. As we can see, it was here. So in this scenario, we only made 1%, but at least it was still a win. So now I'm going to take a look at the sell criteria. Okay, so this is your entry criteria when looking for sell positions. First, we need to make sure we had a valid trend change, and this is signified by the candles changing from green to red. But for this to be valid, the green Heikin-Ashi candles must not be going sideways and they must be facing at least a little bit up. So now we've had that valid trend change. We've waited for price to pull back to the Heikin-Ashi candles and reject and close the Heikin-Ashi bodies. So as we can see here, this bullish candle has pulled back, rejected and closed beneath the Heikin-Ashi candle. Now for this to be a valid entry signal, the pullback candle must not close above the Heikin-Ashi top wick. So now we're going to take the instant execution on the first bearish candle after the valid pullback with the stop loss above the most recent swing high. And for our trade management, we're going to let the trade run until we see a green Heikin-Ashi candle. Okay, so as we can see, price has printed a green Heikin-Ashi candle, so it means we're gonna have to close on the current candle's price. So we resulted in a 13.8% net profit. Now do know I'm picking some of the best trades because these don't really happen often, but it's to show you the potential and reward of letting your trades run. So now I was going to take a look at another short example. Okay, so as we can see in this scenario, we've had a valid trend change by the Heikin-Ashis changing from green to red. Now it was also valid because the actual previous green Heikin-Ashi candles were sloped upwards, signifying that we're not just trading in a range. So now we've had the valid trend change, we waited for the first pullback to the Heikin-Ashi candles that rejects the Heikin-Ashi bodies. So as we can see here, we've had a valid pullback to the Heikin-Ashi candles without it breaking and closing past the top wick, which means this is a valid pullback and we can take the first bearish candle that we see with our stop loss above the most recent swing high. And of course, for our trade management, we're going to be letting the trade run until we see a green Heikin-Ashi candle. Okay, so we just had a green Heikin-Ashi candle, which means we're going to have to close our trades for roughly a 2.2% net profit. So now I'm going to go and backtest this 100 times and come back to you with the results. Okay, so in 4 months, I took 100 trades, 35 won with an average win being 4.41% and 65 lost with an average loss of 0.96%, which means we had a win rate of 35%, but considering our average win is a lot greater than our average loss, this all checks out as being a valid system. Now the max drawdown was 6.6R and the max gain was 22.2 AR. Now this is what I meant before, but I have tweaked this strategy to make it a lot more aggressive but with a lot higher risk to rewards, which a lot of you will not be able to handle because sometimes when I was back testing, price would go up at least 6% and come back and stop you out for a -1%, which you would definitely be having a hard time to manage if you were not experienced. But the net profit in 4 months was 118%. Now that is absolutely phenomenal. Now this strategy, do note, is not beginner friendly. It's going to be extremely hard to actually do, but it's going to have an extremely high reward. So I'm excited to see how your guys' backtesting goes, and please leave it down in the comments below. And also make sure to test it in your own time frame because these results are going to vary depending on this session and pair. So thank you guys for watching this video. Until next time.